Matigela, welcome to my YouTube channel. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, guys. So today I want us to talk about the NPA war, Batoy versus Chauke. Who really controls justice? Okay, fine. Batoy is gone, but still, Ishado Yake is still showing somewhere there. Okay, let's deal with that. South Africa's justice system is facing one of the most explosive internal battles in years. Okay, at the center of it all are two of the most powerful prosecutors in the country, Andrew Chauke and Shamila Batoy. What started as an internal dispute inside the NPA has now escalated into a presidential inquiry. Accusations of abuse of prosecutorial power, walkouts during testimony, and a deep crisis about whether South Africa's prosecuting authority can still police itself. That is what is happening now. This is the Andrew Chauke Shamila Batoy saga that is happening in South Africa. Started last year, which was 2025, and now we are in 2026. A lot is happening. Okay, and the deeper you go into this story, the more exclusive it becomes, because right now, I think Batoy hates herself for what she did when she came for Andrew Chauke. Okay, now part one. Let's start there. The man at the center of it all. For years, Andrew Chauke held one of the most powerful prosecutorial positions in South Africa as the director of public prosecutions of South Gauteng. South Gauteng, Chauke had an authority over some of the most sensitive criminal prosecutions in the country, like the Senzo Meyiwa, the politicians, etc. From organized crime to political corruption to high-profile murder investigations, okay? But in July 2025, everything changed. President Cyril Ramaphosa suspended Chauke from office. The reason? Serious allegations that some of his past prosecutorial decisions may have undermined justice rather than protected it. And Ramaphosa ordered a formal inquiry into whether Chauke was fit to hold office. That's the first thing that happened. Hear me out. Secondly, part two of the situation. The cases that ignited the fire. Let's deal with that. The inquiry focuses heavily on two controversial cases that have haunted the NPA for years. The first involves former Hawks commander Johan Booysen. Okay, Booysen and members of the Camarena police unit were once hit with racketeering charges. Okay, but those charges later collapsed in court. Critics say the prosecution should never have happened in the first place. And Chauke is accused of playing a key role in supporting those charges. The second exclusive case involves former crime intelligence boss, Richard Mdluli. You would remember Richard Mdluli is that guy that was sentenced by Judge Ratamu. This one, Judge Ratamu, on the Senzo Meyiwa case. Okay? Mdluli faced serious allegations, including murder and corruption. But at one stage, the charges were withdrawn by prosecutors. That decision triggered massive controversy across the country. And now the inquiry is asking, did Chauke improperly influence that decision? Or were these simply complex legal judgments that later became politicized? Number three, Batoy enters the battle. The battle now, okay? When Shamila Batoy became the head of the NPA in 2019, she inherited an institution already damaged by years of political battles. Her mission was simple: restore the credibility of the NPA. Sorry, that's it. That's what she was called for. That was her calling, okay? But in doing so, she began reviewing controversial decisions made by prosecutors in earlier years. And according to reports, Chauke became one of the officials she believed needed serious scrutiny. Her concerns eventually led to the establishment of the Nkabinde Inquiry. Yebo, yebo, yebo. The inquiry turns into chaos, Kesana. We've seen a lot that is happening. Let's get into that. Part number 4 of this video, okay? Because I want to take you step by step so that you understand. Now, when we continue doing these situations, I think I'm going to do it every Sunday for the Nkabinde Inquiry. I'll do it every Sunday, a video for you every Sunday. That way, I don't owe you anything. So the inquiry turns into chaos. But something unexpected happened. Instead of quietly determining Chauke's fitness for office, the inquiry itself became a scandal. It became a scandal, guys. A lot happened in a short period of time, okay? During intense cross-examination, Batoyi walked out of proceedings, arguing that she did not have proper legal presentation during questioning. The moment shocked us people that were watching, the observers. Okay, we're like, what do you mean? Do you also need legal presentation? But you are legal brains. What do you mean, ma'am? Excuse us. Excuse you. We were shocked. Oh, we were shocked, Gemdasekai. This was December last year. Anyway, because Batoyi was not just a witness, she was the key complainant in the entire process. So I think those were one of the situations that were shocking us as South Africans. We're like, hi, boo. Her walkout triggered delays, legal disputes, and growing tension around the inquiry. Some critics even argued that the situation had turned into a full-blown institutional crisis inside the NPA. Okay, now, point number 5, a new legal battle happens. Then the situation escalated even further while we were watching, okay? The NPA attempted to push the permission, the NPA attempted to push for permission to lead its own evidence inside the inquiry. But the panel, led by retired Constitutional Court Justice Bessie Nkabinde. There is something about Nkabinde. I'll do something about Nkabinde also. I'm going to do another one about her own inquiry, her own situations. We'll talk about that in another video so that you get a glimpse of who is Bessie Nkabinde. Okay, yes. Bessie Nkabinde rejected the move. Her reasoning was simple. The NPA is the complainant, not the body meant to run the inquiry. Sorry. So that decision revealed just how complicated the process had become. Instead of straightforward disciplinary inquiry, the process now looks like a legal war between different parts of the prosecuting authority itself. Do you know why I'm doing this? I just remembered my ears must listen very carefully because right now, that's the drama. There is a lot in that NPA that is happening. That's why I'm like, my brain is telling my ears, hey, ungakhohlwa, kugcwele kunokunye okwenzakalayo lapha. Okay, part 6, the bigger crisis now. Let's deal with that. And this is where the story becomes much bigger than Chauke or Batoyi. Because the real question is this: if the National Prosecuting Authority is fighting internally, who is protecting the integrity of prosecutions in South Africa? The inquiry has already been extended until June 2026 because of repeated delays. And depending on its findings, the consequences could be enormous. If Chauke is found unfit for office, it could confirm fears that prosecutorial decisions were manipulated in some of the country's sensitive cases. But if the allegations collapse, it could raise serious questions about how internal accusations inside the NPA are handled. Either way, the credibility of the institution is on the line and has been on the line since 2024. Besides the other things, there's been a lot that was going on when it comes to the institution itself. Abasitsheli lokho, there's a lot of things that are happening. Now, the Andrew Chauke Shamila Batoyi saga is no longer just dispute between two prosecutors. It has become a window into the power struggles, institutional fractures, and legal battles inside South Africa's justice system. Do you understand what is happening there? And until the inquiry finally delivers its findings, the question remains, is this accountability or a civil war inside the NPA? So what are your thoughts when, as a South African who's witnessing all of this happening? Mind you, we have NPA failing when it comes to the case of the PE case. Who's the evangelist, the Nigerian evangelist, pastor? I can see his face. Forgot now his name. Yes, that man from Nigeria, the one that was accused of raping children, grooming children, and all of that shandy, and then who is now have been deported back to Nigeria. Who's that pastor? Oh, I forgot his name, man. But him. So NPA failed when it came to that. And now NPA is seemingly failing South Africans and the Meyiwa family, in the sense of Meyiwa family, because of what is happening inside that courtroom. That is unfair. So there is that, Kesan. There is that, but let's wait and see what's going to happen. It's a lot that is going on in our country, and all of these things are happening at once. All of these things are happening at once. Please do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end, and you are watching the ads that are coming through. Please do not skip them ads, please. That's where the revenue is. So kindly, please don't skip the ads for us when you are watching our videos. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.